Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Port St. Lucie. It's great to see you. Let's stand and sing one light.
You gotta hit the thing. Tell them to hit me. Tell them to click the word.
Light brings us all together. One light inside you and me. One light shines in every person that I see. It's the light that shines inside of me. One light brings us all together. One light inside you and me. One light shines in every person that I see. It's the light that shines inside of me. It's the light that shines inside of me.
So I invite you to relax and listen to the words of the prayer for inner peace. Let us come together and pray, our friends. We take this time in prayer to become centered. We use our gifts of imagination and creativity to turn away from outer concerns and circumstances and turn within to the inner sanctuary of pure love. We immerse ourselves in the power of the all-encompassing unconditional love where there are no expectations and no reservations. Nothing can diminish the power of divine love. We live, love, move, and have our being from this unending reservoir of love. Therefore, we are the power of love. That, dear ones, is our truth, and from that place we claim wholeness, freedom, and peace for our lives. And we hold the high watch for peace and harmony in the world. We see the world not as it is, but as we know it can be. By faith, we hold the world in the light of peace that is possible. We take a moment now to silently add our individual prayers. We go forward now knowing the light of God shines on our paths, and we are grateful. So it is. Amen. So would you say with me our mission statement? To develop our spiritual connection with God through prayer, education, and service. And our vision statement, Unity of Port St. Lucie is an expanding community of personal healing and spiritual growth. We stand and sing Open My Eyes.
Of truth you have for me. Place in my hands the wonderful key that shall unlock and set me free. Silently now I wait for of truth you send so clear. And now the wave notes fall on my ear. Everything false will disappear. Silently now I wait for thee. Ready, my God, your will to see. Open my eyes, illumine me. Spirit divine. Open my eyes that I may see verses of truth you have for me. Silently now I wait for thee. Ready, my God, your will to see. Open my eyes, illumine me. Spirit divine. I'm not standing alone. I have what I need. I'm not working alone. Dreams are reality. I'm not standing alone. I have what I need. I'm not working alone. Dreams are reality. What I don't have don't matter. I control destiny. What I want, I will achieve. I'm not standing alone. I have what I need. I'm not working alone. Dreams are reality. I'm not standing alone. I have what I need. I am not working alone. Dreams are reality. Now I have in me power that I need. I'll make a difference the world. I'm not standing alone. I have what I need. I'm not working alone. Dreams are reality. I'm not standing alone. I have what I need. I am not working alone. Dreams are reality. Oh, I'm not standing alone. I have what I need. I'm not working alone. Dreams are reality. I'm not standing alone. I have what I need. I'm not working alone. Dreams are reality. Not standing, not standing, not standing, not standing alone. Okay.
Estelle is going to read the daily word. Surprise.
The daily word today is generous. The abundance of... Is it down? The abundance of the world flows through me. I am securely in the flow of prosperity. When I receive generously and graciously, when I receive graciously and gratefully and share my abundance generously. Whatever I share with a loving, giving heart blesses me as much as it blesses the ones who receives it. Each time I share my supply, I am demonstrating my trust that I will always have what I need. When I share of myself, I am living my faith that I am a divine being empowered with a limitless supply of divine ideas. The richness of an abundant universe flows through me. Knowing this, I don't hesitate to be generous so others will know that the abundance of the world as I know it. Through my giving, may they also know the blessings of the awesome power of and grace of God as they bless me daily. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit that is from God, so that we may understand the gifts bestowed on us by God. And would everybody read the affirmation today? The abundance of the world flows through me.
And now we're going to take this time to step into some meditation, a moment of meditation, of pause to take that idea. And I invite you to close your eyes if you feel so inclined to do so. And let's take a nice deep breath in. We say thank you. Thank you, knowing that the highest and best good is always revealing itself to our inner consciousness. We look within. We look within to the divine nature that we are, to hold the highest and best ideal of abundance. And abundance means not just enough, but more than enough for each and every person. There's more than enough land, there's more than enough money, there's more than enough time and friendships and love and peace. We hold these ideas, knowing that as we circulate these things of love with each person, by holding them in our hearts and minds, in love, we know that love comes back to each and every one of us. We are not separate from each other, but connected in the oneness that we are, the divinity that each and every living thing is. We know that as we hold the idea of love, abundance, we hold it in faith, knowing that we don't need more faith. We simply need to call upon it. It is part of who we are. We hold this idea of the high watch, the ideal of God. That God as love, as harmony and prosperity in our minds. We take this idea into a moment of silence. And now we're going to take this time to step into some meditation, a moment of meditation, of pause to take that idea. And I invite you to close your eyes if you feel so inclined to do so. And let's take a nice deep breath in. We say thank you. Thank you, knowing that the highest and best good is always revealing itself to our inner consciousness. We look within. We look within to the divine nature that we are, to hold the highest and best ideal of abundance. And abundance means not just enough, but more than enough for each and every person. There's more than enough land, there's more than enough money, there's more than enough time and friendships and love and peace. We hold these ideas, knowing that as we circulate these things of love with each person, by holding them in our hearts and minds, in love, we know that love comes back to each and every one of us. We are not separate from each other, but connected in the oneness that we are, the divinity that each and every living thing is. We know that as we hold the idea of love, abundance, we hold it in faith, knowing that we don't need more faith. We simply need to call upon it. It is part of who we are. We hold this idea of the high watch, the ideal of God. That God as love, as harmony and prosperity in our minds. We take this idea into a moment of silence. Hello, Unity of Port St. Lucie. My name is Lily Wong, and I am happy to be giving the lesson for today. Today, I want to talk to you about the high watch. I know last time I spoke with you, we talked about prayer and meditation in that sense. And in Unity, if those of you who are new to Unity or have been in Unity a while, we've heard the idea and the phrase, hold in the high watch. And when we think of it, we think of prayer and meditation, or at least for me, that's usually the first thing that comes to mind. But I want us to not only think of prayer and meditation, but I want to look at it a little differently. Of not just being prayer, not just being meditation, of routine things that we have to do. I was looking around, browsing around the news online this past week, and I want to read to you a couple of headlines that I saw. And I want you to pay attention to each one. as I read them. The first one I saw, it says, consumer prices rise in September, more than expected on housing and gas. The next one says, Gaza crisis grows under intense bombardment on Israel as Israel retaliates against Hamas atrocities. And the third one, Fed minutes show majority support for higher for longer policy on interest rates. Basically, interest rates are not likely to come down. And a fourth one, man arrested in connection to bank robbery. Now, if you notice, each of these that I read to you had something to do with globally, what's going on in another country, what's happening right here in the US. And the one about the bank robbery is actually very local to you. It was right there in Port St. Lucie. And when we heard these, what were you thinking? What were you feeling? She's starting pretty negative this morning. Not something we want to hear first thing in the morning, but how many of us watch the news? How many of us pay attention to these? I know personally, I really don't want to see any of this or hear any of this. But what can I do differently? See, our energy flows, our life energy that is the divine within us, that God part of ourselves, which is all of ourselves, really, has that life-giving energy. Are we giving our energy and attention to the atrocities that's going on in the world, whether locally, in our own country here in the US, or globally? Are we paying attention to that? See, the Apostle Paul, he was an interesting guy, and he wrote 2 letters to the Corinthians. He founded the church he founded the church there, and at one point they were kind of behaving badly. They didn't want to, pay attention to the rules that he set down for what we now would call Christian living, or the rules of how the church should operate as a community in love and in faith. And so he decided that he was going to go there. And he left from Athens, and it's about 40 miles west of Athens is Corinth. And he got there, and they had a meeting, and it wasn't very pleasant. They kind of basically brushed him off, ignored him. And so he writes a letter from his intellect saying, we should, you should do this and you should do that. And he was very fervent in his preaching in this letter. And so we have 1 Corinthians, and then we have 2 Corinthians, where we see him being more loving, more kind. See, that church, Corinth, represents the love center. There was a temple there devoted to the goddess Venus, who is of love, beauty, desire, prosperity, sex. That was what that love center represented there. See, Athens is the intellectual side of him. See, oftentimes, I don't know about you, but I can tell that I know some people that do this, and I know I do it. Sometimes my intellect takes over when I read the news headlines or I hear something. I was like, man, they shouldn't be doing that. And it doesn't feel good. I either feel sad or angry, sometimes even fearful that things will continue in that way. But see, in his second letter, he talks more lovingly, more kindly, more compassionately. See, Paul represents the chooser in us, that will to do what the divine wants, or rather what our divine nature wants, that Christ part of us wants to see whole. That wholeness of ourselves, others, and the world around us. See, he wanted that wholeness. That's why he was angry. Underneath that anger and sadness of the first letter and the second one, he recognized that they simply lacked understanding. And so he chooses to do something differently. In the 2 Corinthians 4:16 through 18, he says this: So we do not lose heart. Even though our outer nature is wasting away, our inner nature is being renewed day by day. For our slight momentary affliction is producing for us an eternal weight of glory beyond measure. We cannot measure the infinite, the divine within us that wants to see wholeness, harmony, prosperity, love, peace, for not just ourselves, but collectively. And he goes on to say, because we look not at what can be seen, but at what can be seen. For what can be seen is temporary, but what cannot be seen is eternal. See, I believe he was talking to us about living from one of my favorite F words, as you know, faith. Looking at what can be seen. What can we see in the chaos? What can we see in this change? In Florida, we have several seasons, hot, hotter, hottest, and even hotter than that. But it's still seasons. The rest of other places are seeing different temperature changes. They're seeing fall, they're seeing the leaves and the temperature fall. And then there'll be winter and they'll have snow. And in Florida, you still can go to the beach, but the water will be a little colder. See, we have seasons that we know will pass. The chaos will pass. Are we holding the idea of the next season, of being whole, even among the chaos and what appears to be an injustice? See, Charles Fillmore, when he wrote The Revealing Word, he considered the high watch as this persistent looking towards the fulfillment of divine ideals. See, Paul is telling us where to look within. And Charles Fillmore says, look to the ideal of what we want to see. So are you willing to hold that a high watch, that higher ideal of divine law? See, your co-founder, Myrtle Fillmore, which we don't often talk about other than her healing that took place, that became the basis of unity. But she had a lot to say, and a lot of her principles were actually easier to understand for most people in some of her writings and in her letters. And one such book is How to Let God Help You. And this is in chapter 3. It's called Life is a School. And I believe she gave us the answers to not just look within, as Paul suggested, to look to the eternal, what is good and true in each of us collectively. But I think she gave us the answer to the challenges of the news and what we see in the world, what we see in our community, that makes us feel icky, makes us feel sad or angry or wondering, what can I do? How can I do it? How can I make this better? I believe she gave us the answers, the solutions in 3 different ways in just this chapter. And there's so much. And I recommend that you go and read it. It's How to Let God Help You. The first one I like to point out is claim who we are. See, we know that we're made in the image and the likeness of their creative source, but how many of us are willing to step fully in our power, fully in our divinity, to feel it, to know the truth of who we are? And she says this: we have power and authority to think and feel and to speak the good and true and to have it manifest. She told us. But not just because she told us means that we should follow it and claim our authority. Find out for yourself. How many times we say, I have a bad memory. And what happens? You forget something. How many times you say, this pain just won't go away. What happens? It persists. By our words, we're manifesting, and by not just our words, but what we think and feel, we're manifesting. She told us, claim the truth of that power. You have the ability to do that. We all do. Claim it for the collective as well. The next one, I think she tells us, she says, see others as light. Or at least that in my phrase, see them as divine, see them as whole. If we're all created in the image and likeness of God, that means that person that may be bombing someone or robbing something or doing something that seems outside of their divine nature, See them as whole. See them as a whole person who's just simply making an error in judgment out of fear, out of grief, out of anger or anxiety, whatever it is. If you've ever been anxious, which a lot of people have been, what happens? You just run around like a crazy person. If you've ever watched a squirrel, when they run around really quickly. And if they're ill, even more. So do we want to run around like that? Or do we want to see the wholeness of them striving for survival? And she says this about seeing them in that way. As we think of others as God's children or as divine, we see them in a new light. We understand how it is that they are trying to unfold and use the faculties and powers God has implanted in them. And we have compassion. If they seem to fall short at times, we also have power to speak truth for them, to bless them, and to help them. See, that's what Paul did in the second letter in 2 Corinthians. He had compassion and understanding that, you know what, even though they're behaving badly, I can stop coming from my intellect and have compassion that they're still learning and growing. These laid out rules and structure of harmony and love is new to them. If you've only known fear and war and poverty your whole life, it's gonna take some time. Give ourselves that understanding and that compassion. See, compassion is the understanding that we're all on this human journey. And it may seem painful to watch or hear, but truly, compassion, understanding. And so Paul does that second letter. And he basically is telling them to have faith. Have faith in the eternal, in the truth, because we're the ones that are creating from truth, from divine mind, which, see, Myrtle Fillmore says this, and the third one that I picked out, it says, abundance is a divine ideal and an idea. Have you ever counted the trees on your way from your home to church? Or just from your home to the supermarket? Can you even count the amount of trees? Can we count how many clouds are in the sky? How many dogs there are in the world? Or just in your neighborhood? There's plenty. You'll keep counting for days. We might have a record of how many highways in this country, but what if we added all the highways in the world? See, there's more than enough. There's abundance in every living thing. We may have a record of how many millions of people are in a certain area, but that's a lot. I don't know about you, but I see that as an abundance. Myrtle Fillmore says this, God, or I would like to say us, will establish order within and without. God's law of equalization is effective everywhere. For everything that has its place upon the earth, there is righteous satisfaction, which means there's good satisfaction. And there's plenty for all under divine law. Plenty for us under divine law. Do you really believe that? Do you feel that within your body? In my heart, when I say, oh, there's plenty, I feel it right here in my heart. I know there's more than enough. But we have the capability to believe that there's lack and scarcity. And that's why we have this fear that there's not enough. Are we willing to hold the high watch to know there's more than enough? That when we see these ideas of lack and scarcity, to say, no, that is not the truth. It's coming from fear. It's coming from a misunderstanding of divine law. If we say God is omnipresent, everywhere present, God is omniscience, all-knowing, all-powerful. If we say all of these, how can we look at something and say, oh, there's lack and scarcity? There's more than enough. You have more than enough to step into the idea that I can hold the truth, even for a moment. So it doesn't have to be people think of prayer and meditation as a formal thing that I have to say it every day and I have to meditate, which builds discipline, and I agree with that. But can we hold the high watch in a moment by putting our attention on the divine ideal of more than enough, that there will be harmony, order is established. In this situation, we may not physically or see it in our mind's eye yet, but we can take our attention off of it and say, that's not to be true. That's not true. See, Unity's third principle says that we create our experience through our thoughts and feelings, and I would add, those thoughts and feelings are our beliefs. Are we believing that there's abundance for these people, that there is an abundance of peace, and we can live in a world where there isn't war and strife, where each person has more than enough that they need? Are you willing to hold that high watch? Now, if you keep thinking and speaking that into existence and feeling that into existence, as you know, I always say, the feelings get the blessing. Are we willing to hold that even though we don't see it just yet? Because we are creative beings. We know that we're made in the image and likeness of God. And if out of it you get a divine idea, as Charles Fillmore would often say, that if you get an idea, that means it's yours to do. So continue to hold that high watch of the beautiful community that you have at Port St. Lucie. Continue to hold the high watch of the highest and best good for each and every person that you know, don't know, and the world as a collective. God bless you.
So easily said, pain in my head. I need my bliss, give me forgiveness. So easily said, pain in my head. I need my bliss, give me forgiveness. Some pain by others wants to stay and linger. It's time to clean that house. The hurt is only you. Let it go, and let's live. So easily said, pain in my head. need my bliss, give me forgiveness. So easily said, pain in my head. I need my bliss, give me forgiveness. So easily said, pain in my head. I need my bliss, give me forgiveness. So easily said, pain in my head. I need my bliss, give me forgiveness. It's so hard hurting to find forgiveness. Can't keep on holding on and bring back energy. Let it go, let it go, and let's live. So easily said, pain in my head. I need my bliss, give me forgiveness. So easily said, pain in my head. I need my bliss, give me forgiveness. So easily said, pain in my head. I need my bliss, give me forgiveness. So easily said, pain in my head. I need my bliss, give me forgiveness. 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 Okay.
It's now time for present our offering. Would you please take your donation offerings in your hand and say with me, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love because I love to give. There are some announcements. Judy, prayer chaplain today. Yoga on Monday with Lana. Whoops, skipped one. Don't want to do that. Metaphysical discussion group on Tuesdays with John Hayes. Prayer circle Tuesday morning, 11:30. Book study Fridays, 10 a.m. Reiki, please see Sherry for appointment for Reiki treatment. And thank you. Sherry, do you have any announcements?
I do too.
Yeah, please.
This is a well-rehearsed service. Okay, let's join as we bless the offering. Creator of all that is, we thank you for every single person here out in YouTube land today, for every single gift and offering. We bless it to the use of Unity of Port St. Lucie. We thank each and every person, and in the prayer box we hold each and every prayer recipient in there in the light and love of spirit, for healing, for comfort, for peace of mind, for release from earthly woes of all kinds. And for all of this we say, thank you, thank you, thank you, God, and so it is. Okay, now, I need everybody's attention for a second. Even if when I come up here you go into la la land because Sherry's just blabbering, listen for a minute. If you have a key to the building, okay? Again, we're having key issues. So please check your keys before you leave today. See if they're working on that door, the lobby door. Okay, myself, Linda Woodcox, John Hayes, Paul Shepard, and Jeff Shepard, your keys should work on both doors. Okay? Well, because that's the group that sometimes we need in to break in, kind of, when we can't get in the other door. So please then just let me know. John Hayes was here to do some stuff for service today, and he couldn't get in that door. Also, I have moved out toward tradition, not in tradition, but out that direction. So I am at least, if you call me and you've got a crisis here, I'm at least 30 minutes away now by the time especially if I don't know about it. So by the time I get jeans on and come over here, okay, I'm at least 30 minutes. So know that if you're doing something. I mean, I'm happy to come. That's not an issue. But I'm not close like I was before, okay? All right. Library's getting there. I'm trying to get it all done by the time Nancy Norman comes back because she's another book lover. So I'm having fun. I keep taking home more than, or here, not exactly, but close to it. If you could have seen me at choir rehearsal the other night. But anyway, but I'm going to get them all done by the time Nancy gets back. I would like to just briefly thank Lily Wong. You know, she had scheduled these 3 talks she's done via film when she thought she was going to be doing her internship up in Titusville and could come here on the one Sunday. And she didn't cancel them, and she did them, despite the fact she's now moved to Arizona, and she is taking 2 courses from Unity to finish her degree, doing her internship, and working full-time for Silent Unity. So I do thank her for that. And one more, the Peace Vigil. I loved it. We were here yesterday at noontime. There were 7 of us. And, you know, we only got that word Monday, so there was no way to announce it last Sunday. But I told John, put it in the newsletter. Maybe somebody will see. And there were 7 of us on the Peace Vigil for peace in Palestine. So if something like that's going on, like check your newsletter or text me, because I would always prefer to do a vigil here at church than alone. So if it's convenient, I would do that again. So if it's something that comes up last minute, just text me and ask me. Thank you. Have a good Sunday.
Linda?
Just real quick, Reverend Linda's book study starts today at 5:30 this afternoon. If you've not already signed up with her to take it, send her a text so she can send you to the link. It's on Zoom. This is in addition, we've got 2 book studies, just to relieve any confusion here. We have 2 book studies going on. One is in-house, and then Reverend Linda's is on Zoom. So, and it starts today. It's How you live is how you die. Yeah, and I've already read some of the. The assignment for today is to read chapters 1 through 5. It'll knock your soul. Oh, This author is incredible, really speaks to me, just saying. Anyway, if you haven't signed up, sign up.
Thank you. Jeff, you're on.
All right. Somebody give me respect. There will be no choir rehearsal this Thursday. So don't show up here for choir Thursday. You know, not Ed.
Any other announcements? Well, thank you for everyone who had anything to do with today's service. We appreciate it very much. It takes a lot of effort to do this, and we appreciate it. So let's stand and sing this peace song.
On earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Amen. Yay. Right.
We did good. Yeah. We did good.
Silence. I forget to put the crap.
I just leave it in the car. I don't bother taking it in. Yeah, I don't think it's taken. Why? I'm not going to answer any phones.